Second again, so I can set the volume on. How are we doing?
This is Matt.
All right, everybody, will you please take your seats, please, so we may begin and get the game underway.
Good luck,
We'll be ready within about 30 seconds, I would say.
Thank you.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to DecipherCon 2000 and the last big championship event of the weekend. This is the Star Wars CCG World Finals. First of all, let's have a big congratulations for our finalists. They would be Yannick Lapointe. He's number 1, and Matt Sokol at number 2. Maybe we first have a big hand for them, yeah. Calm down. My name is Mark Tuttle. I'll be your play-by-play for the event. Sitting to my right, once again joining me at color commentary this year is Joe Allred. Joe, welcome.
Thanks, Mark. It's good to be here.
All right. Now, we would like to ask that for everybody's enjoyment, if you guys would please keep the noise to a minimum so everybody can hear, the players can hear the commentary, and enjoy the broadcast, all right? Thank you very much. They're going to get started here in just a couple of moments, folks. It's going to start out that Yannick is playing dark side, and Matt will be playing a light side deck. The game has begun. Joe, what can we expect?
Well, Mark, looking at this straight up, it would appear that Matt has the advantage maybe at this point. Hidden base is probably the best matchup against Bring Him Before Me, so we'll have to see what Matt starts out here.
Okay, we're looking at Matt's hand here.
You got it.
Got a projection of Skywalker. We've got some X-Wings. And Yannick playing a Bring Him Before Me deck.
Yeah. It's not going to happen again. On my turn, I will go search.
Yannick starting with, or sorry, Matt starting with Rendezvous Point. Looks like a pretty standard build-up for a Bring Him Before Me deck. The Emperor comes out to the table. The scores from today, Yannick came in first place with 8 points and a positive 47 differential. Matt came in second place, 6 points, differential of 23. Interesting hand that Yannick is holding right now. And we see the makings of a pretty standard hidden base deck.
Two, four, six. Yep. My card in hand.
2, 4, 6, 7.
And I'll ask the crowd only once to please settle down.
Vacuum big?
Sure.
Joe, when you've got a Bring It Before Me deck going up against a hidden base deck, what do you expect to happen?
Well, Mark, Matt's probably going to start spreading out and bringing in space, and Yannick's going to force Luke to come out here by bringing Vader to the Endor docking bay. It's going to be interesting to see here if Yannick can win out through dueling or Your Destiny, or if Matt can outdrain in space. It's going to be kind of a terrain race, it seems, although I'm sure Yannick's got some tricks up his sleeve for us as far as space is concerned. So.
Wow.
Yannick with a very nice hand at this point.
And verification, perhaps?
That's right.
What was Matt looking for?
Maybe
Notice what you do not see in this deck, folks. What did you not see in that deck? For those of you who said Luke, you are correct. And we will tell you a story in a few moments of why you didn't see a Luke in that deck verification. What do you think, Joe? Should we tell it now?
You tell him now, Mark, if you want to.
Essentially, we talked to Matt before this round, and Matt had a card short in his deck. Didn't realize that when he built the deck, he had forgot to put Luke in the deck. So he is not playing Luke in this deck.
My turn. Lose 1 force for Your Destiny.
The clock has not been started because the final confrontations for Star Wars will not be a timed game. Players will be allowed to play at their leisure.
Manually. Go switch for vacuum big. Yannick
is setting up for some dueling, some battling. He's got the cards in his hand to do it, but it doesn't look like Matt's going to meet him halfway on that. I think if Yannick had some space support, now would probably be a good time to see it. Joe, in a Bring It Before Me deck, obviously with the new starting interrupts, you get a pull of a lot of effects. What are you likely to start this deck with? What does Yannick have showing?
Well, it looks like it's a standard start, mobilization points, Imperial Rest Order, and Oppressive Enforcement is also down there as well. That's a pretty standard start for any Bring It Before Me deck. That's not surprising at all. What's really going on here is that since Matt doesn't have Luke in his deck, it's not really hurting him that much though at this point though, because Honor the Jedi is out, so he's only losing 1 force a turn to Your Destiny instead of 3. So he's not really behind at this point, but if Yannick starts to spread out, it could really catch up with him pretty fast.
And Yannick has deployed Mara Jade, and it should be pointed out that Yannick knows that Luke is not in this deck.
That's right. They actually played these two sides against each other earlier in the tournament.
In game number 2, and Yannick won that deck, or won that game, got a full win with a 15 differential. All right, we finally see some space support from Yannick, at least into his hand.
He also has lateral damage in his hand at this point.
Should be pointed out that the judges will be offering, for lack of a better word, interference on obvious game misplays, on mandatory actions that might be forgotten. They will not be offering any advice on optional actions. Also, the players are expected to keep track of force loss from effects and objectives, whether it's against themselves or against their opponent.
Matt bringing his other element of his deck to the table with odds. He gets it out pretty fast here early in the game. That's going to help him a lot.
Okay, we have a lot of systems on the table now. Another projection of a Skywalker. Limit the drains. Remember, the clock has not started because this will not be a timed game. Justin Pakes doing rulings. Joe Helfrich walking into the picture. Guys. Justin and Joe, it should be pointed out, did a terrific job doing rulings all weekend long. Also Chris Gregg, big hand to the rulings throughout the tournament. Both of which frequent contributors to the listserv. As Yoda looks on. All right, Joe, is this the spread out and drain? Is this where Matt makes his move?
It appears not. He's just gone to Kessel and Indoor. He'll probably flip next turn, it looks like. Perhaps Indoor's his base, which is why he's got all those X-Wings there. I'd be willing to bet on that. He's not spread out to the other systems down at the lower parsecs, though, at this point.
Huge activation for Yannick.
That's right.
Got a lot of force to play with.
And odds didn't come up as well, which is the big thing at this point.
And one thing we've pointed out in all the games so far, the room that these gentlemen are playing in is very, very quiet. And so you can hear a pin drop during these games, certainly not what they've experienced throughout the tournament so far this weekend at DecipherCon. Joe, is there anything you see so far that surprises you, besides the obvious not having Luke in your deck?
Not really. This is all pretty standard with these two decks going at each other. There's not a lot really of note at this point. Yannick's probably going to go to space here at some point. He's going to have to make some kind of move somewhere. Also, he's going to have to occupy a third battleground for honor as well.
Okay, so we have a weapon deploy. Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, remember you can't cut to a number. Now the force piles appear low, not so much because of loss, but because there are a lot of cards on the table. He's got some duplicate characters in his hand. Not much space there either, Joe.
Yeah, only one dreadnought at this point, but he also has lateral damage, so let's see what he does here. Yannick with some power moves at this point. He occupies a third battleground, and he also has Search and Destroy out now. There's no need to fight that swarm if you can just occupy 3 battlegrounds and stay away from all those light-side ships all game.
Okay, so now we have the Dreadnought with Boba Fett. And Yavin 4.
That can be transit free? Sure. Moving force for Search and Desktop. Yeah. Janice? And go. First lightning? Sure.
Document transfer.
Disorder.
Lower this side of the table. Order to engage.
The binder.
All right. They're serious now, folks.
How many did you bring? 6.
Okay.
What did you bring? But it's the 6 to move? Yeah.
You just like,
Okay, I didn't see. Okay, that's okay. No problem.
Okay, we have a signal. Rebel barrier, a couple of them.
First action, I will make force lightning on this one. Sure. Let's see.
Force lightning, a poor droid.
Let's play Janus also for my turn. Sure. Yeah, that's what the card I was looking for. Janus is God. I'm going to activate. Yeah, so I have to something. First, needs to be force for your destiny. Yeah, that's okay.
So far, no ruling intervention. No real questions for the judges. These guys know their game.
I'm going to activate one first.
All right, Joe, do you battle here?
Yeah, one force.
Probably not. I wouldn't dare go up against that.
My turn on.
What's
Oh.
Okay.
Sniper the droid. What? That was what?
You want to shit out? I should force your removal.
Yannick's lowered Matt's numbers total at this point.
I won't pay the 2 first. kind of loose force to move it.
All right, Yannick moved the Boba Fett away from Yavin 4. Obviously didn't want to face, what, 6 X-Wings?
That's right, and he had to lose 3 to order to engage at that point as well. So he's losing 3 to order to engage, and Matt's losing 3 to your destiny. They're both draining each other.
It's total power.
I could almost say at this point that the drain race is kind of even. The exception of search and destroy, which might give Yannick the advantage here.
But I think Matt lost a little more initially, so he would be behind in the force loss.
Maybe so, but Bring It Before Me is a rather card-intensive deck. It's infamous for having a lot of cards on the table early off anyways.
Yannick's starting to count his cards, obviously concerned about differential at this point, how much he has in play.
That's a nice hand for Yannick.
Cards in the line force. I'm going to activate until it pops up.
3.
Lose 1.
Oh, 1, yeah.
Yannick goes 1 to never tell me the odds.
Info cancel, cancel and 1. 200, and info.
What you got?
And Yannick has a drain going now of about 5, perhaps.
We'll search for vacuum bit. Okay. Final damage on spiral. 1 force.
Everything?
What? Yeah. Allocation.
Okay, Yannick's targeted the spiral with lateral damage.
IG adds a battle destiny with another bounty hunter, so he'll get 2 draws there.
This one force for search. I mean, result. Warriors.
At this point, Joe, does Matt need to deploy any more ships?
Well, he's trying to maybe spread out his other X-Wings maybe across the other systems, while trying to make a stand at Kessel with maybe a new fleet of ships. Although he doesn't seem to have that many cards left anyway, so. But his force right now at Kessel could dwindle pretty fast with 2 draws there from IG and Boba Fett.
According to spotters, Yannick has roughly 21 points in his life force, and Matt has about a dozen
What?
points in his life force.
Card on top of it.
I'm sorry, what?
There was a card on top of it.
Immediately after this game, they'll switch sides, play their other deck. Then after that, we'll have them in here for some comments and questions. So please stay where you guys are.
Matt draws a 4, I think, and Yannick draws a 3 and a 1.
What you got, Justin?
4. And give me a force for some to roll. What did you say?
Yannick wins the battle, so Matt owes a card insignificant rebellion.
Okay, that's okay.
Negative.
Yeah.
Well, didn't I draw,
Draw 4.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a 3.
Oh,
If he loses from the top of reserve, you don't get to look at it. It goes on there.
really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If he sees it, you get to see it.
Oh, sorry. Cool.
You?
Lose 1 force for search and destroy it, you can draw first. Okay. Alright, look through.
Just battle resolution.
Okay. I want to activate.
Yannick's shaking his head, and maybe he's made a mistake here.
3, 4, 1.
Justin pointed out some battle resolution points to Yannick after that last battle.
You have to control. Yeah. Cancel. Absolutely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Initiate that. I'll play 1 first. Initiate battle. If you're first, you lose 1. Ready, King Joe? Good.
Yannick draws a 3 for Destiny, which becomes a 6 from Dengar.
This was 6.
I lose that 6.
Yeah. Got 3 ship, so we can crush it. That's 15. Yeah.
Matt owes another card in Significant
We
Rebellion.
reserve it.
So not looking good for him at this point.
Matt obviously very short on life force. This could well be just a matter of a force strain.
team at draw phase is 1 for CCG, yes, right? Yeah.
There's one. Once the game is over, we'll announce the point differential.
If Matt only has one card left, he'll actually lose it during his next draw phase from Search and Destroy.
Oh, man. I forgot to lose my deck.
Yeah.
And Matt pretty much expected this. He was not surprised by this at all.
Yeah, I believe Yannick won this match early on, like 15, I believe.
Yannick's probably looking at maybe
1 force.
15 in his life force.
Somewhere, maybe a little more than that, I think.
It's 1. Battle.
Yeah.
Keep on. I've got power.
He initiates a castle, so he gets another card back.
I wonder what that's going.
First strike.
Yannick.
And that's game number 1.
Twenty 2-0. Take 3 minutes.
All right, Yannick has a differential of 20 in that game.
If you had, besides.
So, Joe, your comments, your thoughts on the game? Obviously, it would have been a different game if
Man.
Matt had had his Luke in the deck.
Right. Both players really knew the outcome of this, which is maybe why this game was played first. Why Yannick decided to play this game first. It was already predetermined pretty much as he knew what was going to happen.
Now, had Matt had Luke in the deck, how would that game have been different?
Well, he would have been losing 3 less force a turn from your destiny, which is huge. Who knows what could have happened at that point as a result. Who knows? We'll never know. We'll wonder forever.
Would we have seen probably less action in space and more on the ground?
Probably not. Matt's deck was pretty much revolved around space. He would have put Luke in just for the one purpose of giving him the Vader for bringing before me, so probably not.
All right, folks, give us a couple minutes here to reset things. We'll start game number 2. Game number 1, Yannick receives a full win with a positive differential of 20. Matt takes 0 points with a negative 20 differential. So Matt knows now he has to win this next game, and he has to be very careful with his force at the end of the game.
You know, you could set up shrinking it up for 2 games. Championship race, opposed to finish first. That's 3 qualifiers.
Once again, folks, this will not be a timed game. The participants will be allowed to play at their leisure. The last game, roughly a 30-minute game.
Time. I have no idea sometimes, so I'm not even looking.
Have they switched decks already? All right, folks, if we could have your attention, please. If everybody could quiet down, we'll be ready to start the second game here.
Yeah, good luck, man.
Like that. That's a lot. One of your early days.
All right, draws have begun. The game has begun, folks. Again, if we please have you to have quiet in the room so everybody can listen and enjoy.
have here marked is we have Matt's ISB versus Yannick's Mind What We've Learned.
Wow. Matt's got to be feeling good right now.
Looks to be some kind of drop and drain variant. Although at this point, there isn't a lot of characters, so.
Carrier?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, Joe, where does Yannick go with this deck? It's a Mind What You Have Learned, starting with Dagobah.
It looks a lot like the deck he played at Gen Con, which has the Millennium Falcon and pretty much goes to Kessel and drains there, draws lots of Battle Destiny. It's pretty much his main game plan. I'm not sure what kind of defenses he has to stop this kind of an ISB deck. We'll have to see.
Intermission?
Yannick brings down the hut, brings down Yoda, and I believe deaths are to Docking Bay. Well, Yannick's got some characters to work with. We'll see what Matt can do.
Matt flips his objective. 4 ISB agents on the table.
Mm-mm. Yannick's deck is definitely mains intensive, but whether or not he's got what it takes to take on some of the heavy Imperial hardware remains to be seen.
Let's see if Yannick goes to that desert at this point.
What would you do?
Would not go to that desert, and he doesn't.
Second present. Okay. Go. Two. Yeah, that's okay.
Matt contemplating about what to do with Master Luke.
Yeah, Ozzel and Jedi Luke is probably not the best matchup right there. Joe, at this point, is Matt concerned about card efficiency and differential? Remember, he's got to win this by 20.
I'm sorry.
That's right. You just have to play your deck, and when you get down to that number, you got to start counting and just make sure you just don't go under that 20 mark. Up until that point, you really can't be afraid to just play your deck as is. Otherwise, you're not going to play it right, and that's not going to be good for you either.
Wow.
It seems that Matt's playing exactly like they just playing his deck as it is. Playing lots of sites. Again, Matt makes the obvious move for Yannick to move Luke to the desert, daring him to come to it.
And we see more walkers, a Dune Walker, Tempest 1, Gift of the Mentor.
Okay.
And going for the stick, Tad the Dream.
Keep in mind right now that Yannick's force range are -1 as a result of the ISB objective. Yannick with a big play right there with battle plan. That'll limit Matt's ability to force drain in mass.
2. 3. That's just like sorry?
Where do you go? Can I move in the document tree?
Can you, no, that's regular moves.
Sorry?
Both regular moves. Unless you put me in the visual, I have to move. I'm trying to do so.
Thank you.
I'm ready to touch. Okay.
Did you pay one for it?
No.
Did you cross my board queue?
No.
Joe, how big is verification in a situation like this? How much did Matt learn?
Well, Yannick's deck is full of interrupts that just let him go through his deck. They're just strictly there for the purpose of recycling. So Matt's going to look at that deck 20 times more, I'm sure, before the game's over. So not a big deal at this point.
Very high destiny.
Go.
Final time on game 1 was 38 minutes. And Joe, it doesn't look like Yannick has much intention on going to the desert. What does that do to Matt's plan?
Well, it means that Matt Lapointe is deserts anyway.
Get on.
So a couple of walkers and a sand whirl.
It's still on. They're all still on.
Since Luke is the only main Yannick has on the table, Matt still has to be conservative about spreading out his ISB agents at this point. He can't do that yet because Ben and Leia and Chewie are still not on the table yet. They can still come to cause some major battle damage. So. Yannick grabs this ornament.
Do you remember when you first left? I was
It's not changing hands.
I'll be good too.
2 months. Yeah.
Yannick can move back the indoor docking bay, it looks like, over there, which means he'll be able to drain for 2. He's unaffected by ISB at this point. That drain is canceled. the guardian.
Boy, the right character, that would come in handy.
That's okay?
Matt's still got a pretty good life force going. So really, he's not in any danger at the moment. Yannick appears to have a lower life force at the moment.
Avax will probably be going undercover here in a minute at the indoor docking bay. Mad pain to bring.
I mean, you're activating 17. You can afford it.
Okay. I'll play Promenade of the Touch. Yeah. How many in total?
24.
24? Come to the following region.
What does that do?
Go for whatever. So I'm showing you. I'm showing my.
Joe, if you were Matt at this point, would you be spreading out more?
Probably not, because Yannick still has all the main characters he hasn't deployed yet. And if he doesn't have anything like a Gick or anything like that, it's probably not worth the risk, especially since he has to win by 20 at this point. Also, Yannick isn't actually doing all that much damage at this point anyway, so.
Any cards?
20.
20? You got 20 there? So, if we both tie, I'm winning since I did 12.
That would be now as long
Maybe I have something.
It's up to you. Hey, you want to drum it up?
Yannick appears to be interested in the amount of force left
I
in
did.
Waited.
Matt's life force. Or Matt has to win this game, and he has to win by more than 20.
15. play on the other loop. I'll say 5.
Sure.
Yeah. Do something? Play out the edge.
Although it's hard to hear exactly what was said, Joe, it appears that, wow. It appears that Matt might already be too low on life force to pull this out even with a win. Joe, is there any retrieval options in Matt's deck?
There could be. He has a distant ornament, but that's already been grabbed at this point as well. With their what are you trying to push on us? So it's possible, but maybe unlikely, since you maybe only have maybe 4 or 5 scouts on the table at any one point too. Plus, Yannick is retrieving his own force as well.
Take the other one. Go.
Active 18, you know, these 2 sets.
Okay, by our count right now, Matt's got about 20 force.
One barrier.
Yep. Yeah. Good.
Ability. It hits the table.
One.
21.
Now, what's amazing about this game, Joe, is look how few cards Yannick really has on the table. He's got Luke with a lightsaber.
His deck's really pretty efficient, and also it retrieves a lot as well. That's why all those interrupts are in there that just recycle, like throw me another charge and out of commission.
He has 2 characters on the table right now, and
Oh.
With ability
Make that 3.
out now, though, he's going to have to start deploying.
Matt continually shaking his head. He seems to be aware that there's not a lot he can do.
I'm afraid. Not
Throws an asset that does not look good from that.
Yeah, but that was just stupid.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks.
Called her fire as well.
Hard time.
Intermission on the other side.
Oh. Hard.
Thinking about the force of the black guy.
And she got it. Actually, first this one. Out of commission? Okay. Out of commission? Nope.
Joe, it's kind of just a moot point at this point.
Probably so. Yeah, it seems like clearing the board at this point.
I know, I'm questioning this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Differential aside, Joe, can Matt still win this game?
Sorry.
Don't believe so. He doesn't have that much table advantage at this point to still win by 20 plus cards, it seems. As far as just winning the game goes, it doesn't seem so either, because order to engage is out as well. He's going to have to start losing to that now. He could be then running around Nor and Marco together. Although it's going to be close, I think.
Oh.
Don't forget, immediately after this game, we'll have Matt and Yannick in here for questions and game analysis, so please hang with us.
Sorry about the minutes. Okay.
Yannick pays the extra 2 for projected telepathy.
Who's on first? For the drink? Okay, you're just thinking. We'll search for a backing bit. turn off the terminal and charge.
Yep.
Yep. Right. Marco?
Yannick is just taking a commanding lead here toward the end of this game.
What he's done is he set up his retrieval module. He's recycling an interrupt at the end of Matt's turn and then plays a retrieval interrupt on his turn, getting 5 force back. Once a player gets that going late game, it's really hard to get around that.
Yannick has 21 life force. And now Lightside finally moves into space. And Joe, this is pretty much a Super Falcon deck, isn't it? Anyways, isn't it?
That's what Yannick was playing at Gen Con, but it appears not anymore. It appears to be more mains and toys based this time around. But even more importantly, with the occupation of Rendelia, is Yannick no longer has to pay for battle plan anymore.
Only one.
Matt has some big drains going. Is there going to be enough to win this game?
Well, it's almost balancing out with Yannick retrieving 5 force every turn. Yannick still has a lot of cards left. Matt's making him lose 7 a turn. He's retrieving about 5 a turn.
Engine?
Here it comes again. At the end of his turn. Now, if he has an interrupt in his hand, he'll retrieve that much force. Matt's got an Abyss and Ornament in his hand, but I don't think he even has that many Outer Rim Scouts on the table at this point to retrieve much force.
Now, a moment ago when we said Yannick had 21 life force left, that was actually the dark side, Matt having 21 life force. It doesn't appear to be that much now.
Yeah. 1, 2.
Very careful playing here toward the end.
Yannick looking for a on the edge or an off the edge. He knows he has that high destiny on top.
With a lot of cards in his hand right now.
And there it is.
Okay.
He gained 5, but he picked up an awful lot, Joe. Is it worth it?
Absolutely. It's prolonging the game, and it's probably going to get Matt under 20 cards here in the end. Yannick knows he's not draining for a lot at this point. He knows that if he can just retrieve force though every turn, he should be able to take Matt under 22. Although the drains are getting bigger now.
Matt looks a little more confident. Looked like a drain of about 9, obviously not sitting well with Yannick.
Well, if Matt has 21 cards left still, this could be interesting. Go. Oh, just by eyeballing, it doesn't seem that you had that many.
Got a hole, 21.
Yannick asks for a count, and Matt is still at 21. He's stuck on 21.
All right.
How many in your reserve? Not reserve.
13.
Doesn't look like Yannick can bring him down below that mark this turn.
Wow.
He has drain of 1 in space and a drain of 1 on the ground. He's got Matt has 2 cards in his hands. He could lose both of those.
Wow.
Triple A.
Look at Matt. You can just tell he's just anxious for whatever's about to happen.
I'm good. 500
Yeah, go for it.
Wow. And Joe, what just happened?
I think Matt recruits some force here.
And Yannick is obviously
Yannick
looking
is
for
some kind of option here.
Commission?
Can you do that? Because I don't have lost one.
Unbelievable! Wow. All right.
I was sure I could get you.
What an amazing end. All right, folks, hey, now remember, listen up. We're going to bring both of them in here in just a few moments.
Thank you.
Unbelievable game, folks. Just stay in your seats, folks. We'll talk to the winner here in just a few moments. We'll have both Yannick and Matt out here. Joe, 10 minutes ago, we pretty much assumed that game was over, and I think Matt did too.
Well, Matt stopped the drain at the indoor docking bay with an undercover spy, and Yannick was only draining for 2 a turn, and Matt's force drain overcame Yannick's free play.
Thank you.
That's all it came down to, and Matt was able to stick on 21 card differential, and that was it. Yannick could do nothing about it. What a game.
All right, folks, our players are heading in here right now. If you'd like to please have a seat and listen to what they have to say.
Not necessarily. As he started drawing, he had a point at which if he had drawn all of his cards, he would have won.